Yes, so this is a global ecosystem spotlight session. I'll request the production team now to bring in our esteemed speakers for this session. And we are discussing Hong Kong. Hong Kong is a highly dynamic city that serves as perfect platform into mainland China and Asia. Hong Kong is an ideal place for business in Asia. And we are very fortunate that the team at Invest Hong Kong could join us today to present their ecosystem. Hong Kong is a business-friendly city with multitude of advantages to ensure businesses can flourish. Joining us today from Hong Kong segment for Nordic Startup Festival are Mats. He represents Nordic. He's the Nordic representative for Invest Hong Kong. Jayne Chen, head of Start Me Up Hong Kong at Invest Hong Kong, and Binh Johansen, community director at Nordic Innovation House. And while they're joining in, I see, hi, Mats, and hi, Jayne. I want to play a very interesting video. So everybody out there, please look at it. It's a very nice short video. Let's see if I can share my screen now.
Hong Kong, a city of opportunity. Invest, where the world's most prominent international brands are flourishing, in a place that nurtures businesses so they grow, building connections between East and West. Set up shop in a place where an entrepreneurial spirit abounds. Launch and expand your business where smart also means safe, where you can easily find the talent with the right backgrounds and skills. Invest Hong Kong is here for you to get you started and help you grow, where business goes to grow.
Great. Hong Kong is the place to be for all the startups, investors, growth mindset, businesses connected today. So this is a very important session. Take your notes. And I'm very thankful to the team at Invest Hong Kong that they could join us today. Hi, Mats and Jayne. Thank you for being here. Yeah.
Hiya. Good to be here. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Great that you could join us. We'll start with, tell our audience a bit about yourself. Mats, can we start with you?
Yes, of course. Thanks, Naimul. Great to attend this event today. It's really great. And as you mentioned, I'm the Nordic rep for Invest Hong Kong. And Invest Hong Kong is a government agency, started 22 years ago. And we try to attract more inward investments to Hong Kong. And that is, we help foreign companies, Nordic companies to establish in Hong Kong. And all that help is a free of charge service, and we can help with information, contacts, whatever, in different phases, especially when you're evaluating the Asian market and where Hong Kong could be an option, then we try to help. And then when companies actually decide to set up a presence in Hong Kong, we can help with visas, licenses, international schools, whatever, So we try to help all the way there. And then we also have PR services and other stuff and contacts with different agencies. And we also have aftercare service, etc. I'm in the part of the Nordic team. I'm focusing on, I'm based in Gothenburg, West Sweden. But I take care of Sweden and Finland. So I'm doing Zoom calls or visit companies all around the countries. I have a colleague, Gert Hovens, he's focusing on Denmark, Norway, and Iceland. So we are happy to assist and meet whatever company looking at Hong Kong. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Matt. What an amazing introduction and a great work that you're doing. Jayne, tell us about yourself, if you'd like to. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks ever so much, Naimul, for having us, at this Nordic Startup Festival. It's been fantastic. I've been seeing some of the content and, the panel before, actually a topic actually very close to my own heart. So it's great to see. My name is Jayne Chan. I'm the global head of Start Me Up at Invest Hong Kong. The Start Me Up initiative was set up about 8 years ago to actually really provide customized support to startups as well as other stakeholders such as accelerators, incubators, investors, the corporate innovation people. I mean, every one of those stakeholders who have specialized kind of needs or connections to the startup ecosystem, our team was established to actually help support that. And I work with my colleague Max and my other colleagues around the world. We've got about 30 odd offices around the world where we can actually provide very specific information to try and support those types of companies.
Awesome. I would just like to ask what ecosystem support is available around you as a startup or a business in Hong Kong?
So in terms of the support, and what Matt does and my colleagues in the various offices, they really provide the first line of information. So if we've got startups interested in Hong Kong, please reach out to Matt and other team members, and they'll give you information about what's happening in the ecosystem there. But then, they might pull us in, our team in, to give more specific information. So if you are a fintech and you want to see how you can actually leverage the opportunities in Hong Kong to, whether you want to access the market directly here or through Hong Kong to Asia or what we call the Greater Bay Area, we can give you like the connections. We can actually tell you what's happening on the ground. We can invite you to participate in our events. We can connect you to various stakeholders. If you're interested in accelerating and one of the accelerators there, we can also do this as well. Actually, in the middle, maybe I might switch over to my very quick presentation just to give everyone a quick snapshot of what's happening on the ground. Is that okay?
Awesome. Please go ahead.
Excellent, thank you. So I just want to give everyone just a quick background in terms of what's happening in Hong Kong. So in terms of the ecosystem, it's incredibly vibrant, as I mentioned. If you see the number of startups actually over the past few years, we've actually seen quite a substantial growth. Even at the height of the pandemic, you see that we've, in 2019, 2020, we've actually still seen quite a lot of growth. And one thing that is actually quite special about Hong Kong's startup ecosystem is the fact that it is incredibly international. About 28% of our startup ecosystem founders are from outside of Hong Kong. And you can see the top countries of origins based here. We've got Mainland China, the US, we've got the Brits, the French, and the Indians making up the top 5 kind of groups. And when you add that kind of international expertise and way of looking at resolving problems, when you mix that in with local kind of talent who are, incredibly smart, very well educated, used to trading internationally, and they've got the language capabilities, we think it actually makes for very strong startups. Now, in terms of the kind of sectors that we're seeing the most robust kind of growth, Hong Kong's startup ecosystem is actually incredibly diverse. It reflects what's happening in terms of the economy. People might know us as a financial center, they might know us as a trading center, but actually on the ground, we've got a lot of different kind of activities happening. But you do see the biggest group of activities and development are in those spaces, I suppose, where we are more well known for on an international kind of stage. So fintech is our biggest kind of growth area in terms of the number of fintechs. We've also got quite a lot of companies working in the e-commerce, supply chain, logistics kind of side, usually related to the fact that Mainland China is the biggest e-commerce market in the world, and a lot of people are trying to take advantage of that. And also the Mainland Chinese companies who are looking to leverage Hong Kong to go international as well. So we see developments here. We've also got the professional consulting services, that's usually through the SaaS kind of models. We see legal tech and all these kind of activities happening as well. And why is it such a vibrant kind of hub? We mentioned how international it is, and it's, the fact that we are one of the world's financial centers does have, quite a big impact on that. But in addition to this, we have, the real kind of like component, I think, that makes for a very strong and robust ecosystem. We've got, a lot of different accelerators, incubators, co-work spaces. Our university networks and startup club associations make up our very vibrant community. The government has also got a lot of different kind of like policies to support. We've got proof of concept kind of support, regulatory sandboxes. We've got GovTech kind of departments if you're looking to sell your products and services to government, and also the data kind of services as well, which is also really important. In terms of market access, I mentioned the fact that the Greater Bay Area, which is just the southern part of China, which is a collective area of 9 different cities within mainland China, plus Hong Kong and Macau. And that's like an 86 million people kind of potential market access that you can actually sell very quickly to straight away. There's also obviously access to ASEAN as well as the Hong Kong market itself. Funding, we are known as one of the world's kind of fundraising hubs, partly through the stock exchange, which is incredibly vibrant as well as very liquid. We've also got VCs and PE networks as well. And not to mention the talent side as well. We've got 5 of our universities in the world's top 100 QS ranking. So, you know, all the components are there. And I think that's why we've seen the kind of success that we have, which has actually translated into the fact that we've got currently, being very, very conservatively, estimate that there are about 9 unicorns in Hong Kong at the moment, plus 2 recent exits we've had with Phonetics and SenseTime. There are a few kind of companies, startups there who are close to that kind of valuation, but because they've not publicly disclosed it, we can't do so either. But, you know, there's definitely a few more unicorns in that offering. And if all of that has really enticed you to potentially learn more about Hong Kong, we think the events are a great way to go. And this event that we're in now is a very good testament to that. If you are interested in finding out what's happening in Hong Kong, join our festival, which runs from the 5th to the 10th, which is next week. Lots of things happening. We've got events focused on climate tech. We've got the GBA Innovation Summit, health tech. We've got a large metaverse Web 3.0 theme running throughout the week. We've also got property tech and smart city discussions as well. So we'll love to see you there. Thank you so much. I'll stop sharing.
Thank you so much, Jayne. Like, what an energetic presentation. I loved it, and very eye-opening to me to know how deep and established is the Hong Kong ecosystem, how robust it is. Love the insight on being the strong side, being the e-commerce and fintech, as you mentioned. And the number that clocked my mind was 120 plus incubator, accelerator, co-working spaces. That's very mature. That's really, really great to hear, and some unicorns forming up. So message to our audience over here is 5th to 10th September. Check out the festival that Jayne mentioned. We are very fortunate to have with us somebody who is an expert on innovation exchange, who has extensive experience of bridging international ecosystem. So I would request the production team to bring in Binh Johansen, who is a community director at Nordic Innovation House, to join us on stage. And that'll be an interesting insight to tap into.
Hello, can you see me?
Yes, hi Binh, how are you?
Oh, okay, great.
Great. Thank you so much that you could join us, and glad you are here with us. Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about yourself and what is Nordic Innovation House? Yeah, over to you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Binh Johansen, and I am the community director for the Nordic Innovation House. Apologize for the poor lighting here. It seems like my light bulb just broke, so I'm trying to find a good section here. Very thank you for inviting me. I am the Nordic platform for bringing Nordic tech companies to Greater Bay Area by landing you first in Hong Kong. So this panel that I have is perfect. Me and Jayne and Mats, we work very closely together, and I am actually physically in Hong Kong with Jayne. I will share a screen about short about Nordic Innovation House, so we don't repeat what Jayne just said.
Awesome.
And it's happening. A lot of things is happening right now here in Hong Kong. I can feel the vibe coming back. So this is us, and there are 5 houses in the world. We started in Silicon Valley, then continued to New York, and in Asian houses we have Singapore, Hong Kong, and Tokyo. And me, of course, is in Hong Kong working with the Greater Bay Area. The Nordic Innovation House, we are funded by Nordic Innovation and supported by the Nordic Council of Ministries. So I represent actually 5 countries and help them to understand more about the Greater Bay Area and how Hong Kong is actually the stepping stone to get into not only GBA, but also to the rest of China and Southeast Asia and Asia too. Because like Jayne said, this is an international hub. Hong Kong is one of the most dynamic and international places you can be when it comes to the startup ecosystem. So I am actually one of the startup platforms that you can use if you want, if you're interested in joining the coming to Hong Kong. So what do we do, all 5 houses in the world? Very simple. We scale the best of the Nordics. We try to bring you in to our respective markets by showing you where it is. You can, what kind of accelerator program, organizations. So Invest Hong Kong is one of my partners, and then we have others like Cyberport with Metaverse, high tech and fintech. And then you also have the Hong Kong Science and Technology Park, HKSTP, that also have the R&D, more of a deep tech and heavy R&D investments and companies. And then Hong Kong being a financial hub, we have like a lot of family offices who is really interested in Nordic technologies. And for the Hong Kong house, I also do a special thing. I also scale Hong Kong back to the Nordics. And one of the projects I just had was actually to bring the creative industry, the gaming, digital entertainment and gaming industry to Finland, Sweden and Denmark. And we actually went to Malmö, the Nordic Games, for example. So another thing is very like physical and hands-on is like I really try to land companies in Hong Kong. So this is a Nordic EdTech hub, powered by Top Creative Education Hub. So my job was to find, like physically help them to find a Nordic educational platform company who have Nordic values in our way of teaching or learning, like exchange, how we can together find education. Just like the former panel said, education is the key. So bringing Nordic value to education is even better. I had the opportunity to bring like 10 companies in and to introduce to the Hong Kong side, and 5 of them is chosen to land. So actually the Nordic EdTech Hub is in one day in Hong Kong right now operating. So it's very, I'm very happy and proud of it. So this is just a list of what the Nordic Innovation House do. We have, I bring companies to Hong Kong by arranging different activities. And also right now is of course StartmeupHK Hong Kong, who is the most important one because there's so much things happening. Among others, I saw from the list that someone is very interested in the metaverse. You have to join because Naimul brand is one of the forerunner when it comes to metaverse. And lastly, I will wrap up the whole session, except for this StartmeupHK Hong Kong, who is very important. We also, because Hong Kong is a financial hub, the upcoming Hong Kong FinTech Week is also an event or a big happening that you should have a look at. If you're interested, reach out to Matt, reach out to me. If you're a Nordic company, especially me, because I will have a full booth in the FinTech Week. Physically, I'm bringing Nordic companies to either I represent them if you cannot come to Hong Kong, if you don't have planned it, I can do it for you, or you just fly into Hong Kong. Because right now, even though the pandemic is roaming, it's only 3 days in quarantine compared to what it was before. So here is the vertical for pitching competition. There is a timeline. If you are doing the global fast track, it's free. Just go into the FinTech Week or talk to Matt and we'll help you. You see the timeline. The company will get chosen for the actual pitch will be in Hong Kong stage and pitching for real investors. And then in December, everything will be wrapped up. So stay tuned, contact me, Jayne, or Matt, if you want to know more about different events and things. So this is the Nordic side. If you're not Nordic, then you really have to talk to Matt, because I only deal with Nordic startup tech companies. That's all from me, Naimul. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you so much, Binh. What an intense schedule and stage of initiatives that you have. Great if you could put some links. I've asked our production team to put all these amazing links to all these initiatives and also your contact information so that people who are here, attendees who are here, can connect with you. We got a couple of questions while you were presenting, like the recordings will be available. Yes, as I said earlier during the event, we will process the recordings in the next couple of days, and they will be released in a segment-wise format on the Nutty Ventures LinkedIn page. So you can access all the recordings over there. It should be available in 3 to 4 days, Monday the latest, I think. But thank you so much, Binh, for your presentation. Great work by Nordic Innovation House, and I believe there are enormous collaboration opportunities between Hong Kong and other international ecosystems, including Nordics, and great work that Matt and Jayne that you're doing. And Hong Kong is a great place to invest and start business. We are wrapping up the panel. Maybe a couple of final words you might want to share before we move to the next session. Anyone from you?
Maybe I'll just step in.
Yeah,
I've noticed some people have actually sent questions. We would be happy to email them. I don't want to take up even more time. I'm sure there's people waiting behind us to actually get on there. But Matt has put down the email address. Please send them over our way, and we would be happy to just email you directly back. In terms of the presentation, I'll also make that available to Naimul. And you know, if you need a copy, I'm sure that could be basically addressed. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jayne. Thank you, Matt, and thank you, Binh, from joining us from Hong Kong.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Day.